Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy Nitsa coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today. I got an old throwback, but a great one as well right here, the 1073. I wanted to talk about the 1073 and a couple of use cases that I have for it. Why is it such a heritage channel strip? Why do we love it so much, and why is it so versatile, and why does it work across so many genres? We're gonna get into that today and look at a couple of different methods and tricks I like to use with it. So the very first thing that I want to do is speak about the 1073. So at one point in time, people had consoles which were filled with these channel strips. Now, luckily nowadays we have technology which can bring it to us in a simplified format like this. This is the UAD Spark version that I'm using right here. Originally, when I tried to use the 1073, I used it in a tracking situation, right? So if you had the Unison version, it would actually allow you to pull it up in console and record with it, right? So the preamp section is segregated, right? You have the line portion and you have the mic portion. Generally, when you're recording, you would need more dB, more amplitude, right? From the for the microphone to capture the signal you're putting it into, right? So people would go with the mic positioning, right? And you would crank it up accordingly. And as you push that preamp, you're gonna get more harmonic distortion, more of the good stuff that we like, right? The electricity, the sound of transistors and transformers, right? I'm always trying to tell you guys that you got to understand the components inside of these channel strips that you're selecting. A great thing about the Neve and what makes it so good and so just one of those all-time greats, right? A GOAT channel strip, is the fact that it has transistors and transformers in it, right? So we got to understand, what do these components do, right? So the transformer gives it the beef, the meat, the weight that 1073s are known for, and that's why they're great for hip hop. People would generally pick a 1073 just because it can make a rap vocal a little bit more powerful, or even a rock vocal, right? That's a part of the circuitry and the circuit path, right? And then you have the transistors, which gives us that buzzing sound, right? It gives us the grittiness of the Neve that we can obtain when we push it hard, or even subtly we can get some of that, a little bit of that buzz, a little bit of that transistor push that it gives us, right? And that's what makes the Neve distort very well, right? When you push it, right, is the transistors. So I want to just go ahead and look into this today, and let's look at this right away. I'm going to play actually the song that I have right here so we can listen to it. Then we're going to bring in the Neve and we're going to talk about it.
On my 3 lines in the 30 while posted on 33rd. You left me, I ain't care, you thought that I would be hurt. It's easy to forget when I'm floating off the perk. Counting us some money while I'm burning down some perk. Smoking super runs, I feel like Superman. I try to save a hoe, I won't do that again. Me and my dog Nixon, we stacking the Benjamins. Hey, dead presidents, I gotta get them in. Hey, what the fuck you thought, bitch, that I would beg for you? Hell no, that's something I would never do.
So you guys get the gist of what's going on right here. I have my vocal right here. And the very first thing I want to talk about is the filters. So this section right here, right, when you push the EQ in, regardless of if you have this pushed in or not, the high pass filter, right, is always going to be engaged. So that's something very important to know as well with this. And another thing that we got to understand too is the reason why people love 1073s is they're very simple. I've noticed something. Even though we got so much technology, we can do so many EQ moves and filter this and that, we keep coming back to these great classics. They keep remodeling them because there's a demand for these type of plugins, right, that give you less options. Like I always try to tell you, us as human beings, we're optimized for less options. You have an infinite number of ways you can make a song sound good, and you got an infinite number of ways that you can make it sound bad. So sometimes I like to pick plugins like this specifically that give me less options, but with frequencies that I know are gonna work, because it's pretty much giving me less ways to screw up the song, right? Of course, you got all these plugins, you can get option paralysis, you can say, oh, what if I use this and that and try a bunch of things, but it's very good to use something that you just know is gonna work, and that's right to the point, and everything that is fixed in the beginning, So let's look at the preamp, right? And with this preamp, we have the line, right? Generally, when you're mixing, you're probably going to be using the line portion, right? More so when you're recording, you would be using the microphone portion of it because that's going to give you a lot of dB. But I actually like to use it in another way I'm going to show right here. So let's push this preamp, right now. But let's understand something, that this knob right here, this fader right here, is actually colored. So it's actually modeling, you know, the circuit path of the actual fader on the Neve console, which is very good, you know. But this output right here is a clean output, right? So you can use that in a very good way to get some new tones and everything. So let's start with pushing the preamp, and let's just hearing why is it so good on a rap vocal.
On my 3 lines in the 30, well posted on 33rd. You left me, I ain't care, you thought that I would be hurt. It's easy to forget when I'm floating off the perk. Counting us some money while I'm burning down some perk. Smoking super runs, I feel like Superman. I try to save a hoe, I won't do that again. Me and my dog Nixon, we stacking the Benjamins. Hey, dead presidents, I gotta get them in. Hey, what the fuck you thought, bitch, that I would beg for you? Hell nah, that's something I would never do. Got me wondering like what the fuck I got into. Can't be fucking with no bitch that show no gratitude. Drop the attitude, baby, you gon' have to clear it. I got love for you, but I don't even want you near me. Try to tell you how I felt, but you ain't never hear me.
So just based on the way when I'm starting to push this line amp right here, you can hear that it's actually sounding like it's giving me some more clarity and some more meat in the low end, right? This vocal kind of originally started off a little bit skinny, right? So I love using the preamp, sometimes just only the preamp, just because I know the components in the circuitry is gonna give me a certain sound, right? And you can actually use this to your advantage with the 1073, right? Understand that, like, if you know that this channel strip right here has a transformer in it, you can say, hey, you know, maybe I'm not gonna have to do any boosting EQ on the mid band because the natural sound of how a signal sounds like going through a transformer is already built into this plugin. So it's actually helping you do less work. And that's why I think it's important in the beginning to learn how to master these little, you know, throwback analog channel strips, because they've always worked for very long and they are just, you know, helping you right away. You know, they're making it very easy for you. You have to understand that your creativity is like a river. You don't want to have to mess up the stream, right, on small little things. When a river is flowing in nature, right, what does that river do? The current, it keeps going, and along the way, it starts to pick up little rocks and little twigs, all right? So that's kind of like you as an engineer. Along the way of you doing the mix, you're going to make a little move right here, a little move right here. But under no circumstance should you ever stop for a very small thing. You have to keep your creativity flowing, right? You don't see a current stop and say, hey, there's a rock over there. Let me go pick up that rock, like a whole water current stops to just go get a little rock. No, so as an engineer, don't worry on those, you know, particular things, right? Try to use these plugins that make it easier for you, right? You pushing that little preamp, now you hearing more of everything that you like. It's giving you more confidence and it's helping your creativity flow through the process of mixing. All right, next thing that we're gonna look at is, let's look at the EQ right here, right? So you have a high shelf right here and a low shelf right here. Let's see how we can spice up this rap vocal a little bit now that we push this preamp.
On my 3 lines in the 30, well posted on 33rd. You left me, I ain't care, you thought that I would be hurt. It's easy to forget when I'm floating off the perk. Counting us some money while I'm burning down some perk. Smoking super runs, I feel like Superman. I try to save a hoe, I won't do that again. Me and my dog Nixon, we stacking the Benjamins. Hey, dead presidents, I gotta get them in. Hey, what the fuck you thought, bitch, that I would beg for you? Hell nah, that's something hurt. It's easy to forget when I'm floating off the perk. Counting us some money while I'm burning down some perk. Smoking super runs, I feel like Superman. I try to save a hoe, I won't do that again. Me and my dog Nixon, we stacking the Benjamins. Hey, dead presidents, I gotta get them in. Hey, what the fuck you thought, bitch, that I would beg for you? Hell nah, that's something I would never do. Got me wondering like what the fuck I got into. Can't be fucking with no bitch that show no gratitude. Drop the attitude, baby, you gon' have to clear.
So you can hear when I boost up the low shelf a little bit, you feel like the vocals coming a little bit more forward to you. You got to understand that with this kind of the low end part of a vocal, that's what your human ear uses to identify distance, right? When somebody comes a little bit closer to you, you kind of hear like more deepness, right? And when they're farther away, you hear less of that. So use that to your advantage, right? If the vocal sounded like it was kind of skinny, but I wanted to bring it up forward to the listener. You know, sometimes boosting something in the lows is very helpful for you. And now let's understand something too. I actually got the Neve at the beginning of my vocal chain, my vocal bus, right? So overall, it's just making it easier for me going down the line. Sometimes, you know, people say, oh, you should only do a subtractive EQ right away. But also remember, guys, that there is no rules to music. There's only fundamentals, right? Don't ever, you know, conform yourself just because somebody says something. Like right here, the first thing I'm doing is boosting EQ. Right, because I know we recorded it very well because I was there to coach the artist and make sure that they was at the right distance and everything like that, you know. So that's a part of it too. I don't have to do too much subtraction EQ because I coach the person in real life, so I can actually start having fun a lot faster and doing some boosting, right? And I feel like this vocal in general, you know, might need a little bit more top. So let's hear that.
It's easy to forget when I'm floating off the perk, counting us some money while I'm burning down some perk, smoking super runs. I feel like Superman. I try to save a hoe. I won't do that again. Me and my dog Nixon, we stacking the Benjamins. Hey, they're presidents. I gotta get them in. Hey, what the fuck you thought, bitch, that I would beg for you? Hell nah, that's something I would never do. Got me wondering like what the fuck I got into. Can't be fucking with no bitch that show no gratitude. Drop the attitude, baby, you gon' have to clear it. I got love for you, but I don't even want you near me. Try to tell you how I felt, but you ain't never hear me. I don't never want you back, and I mean that sincerely.
So this is one of those songs where I always talk to you guys about, like, sometimes when I'm mixing a song, I like to do something bold. And in this song right here, I strategically actually kind of made the ad-libs a little bit more boomier with a little bit more low end, and I actually decided to make my lead vocal a little bit more skinny. That's what I always try to say, is you can try out new things, and my background vocals, which you guys can't see right now, are driving the song just because I love the way that the beat sounds like, you know. It just makes me think of like a beach, right? And usually when people are at the beach, they're looking at the beach from a far distance. So I built my vocal chain around the way I visualized it in my head. So always, you know, maybe when you're listening to a rough mix, you just close your eyes and be like, you know, what does this music make me think about? What kind of ideas is it giving me? Okay, it gave me that idea. Now I'm gonna mix my whole song based upon that vision, right? Because when you do something like that, you're getting direction, right? And the Neve 1073 is amazing because it gives you the sound you hear in your head, right? And, you know, I feel like this plugin is incredible when you use it across an entire mix, because the reason why console sounds so great too is the collective harmonic distortion. You know, harmonic distortion is a great thing, right? But when you're using it on just one channel, it will do the job, right? But when you put it across the whole mix, you will really start to hear how it contributes to the whole sound of a mix. Like even just running this plugin on default, sometimes I might open it up and I might just not even push nothing. I just run it through it just to get the sound of those components. The transformer, like I said, which adds the meat, and the transistor, which adds a little bit of that smoothie, creamy richness. But if, you know, you do push it or you hit it hard, will give you some grit and some bite and some snap. All of those things that you might get from compressors or anything like that. You get the positives, but not none of the negatives. And let's look at the mid-range. I think the mid-range is always very important. What I like to do with the Neve is I like to crank it up. I like to crank it up in the beginning so I can roll through these set frequencies, right? And try to hear, do I hear something good? Or do I hear something bad that I might want to cut out, right? If I hear something good, what I'll do is I'll just slightly, you know, start back from zero and, you know, push it up a little bit forward. If I hear something bad, I will be, you know, very, you know, moderate with my EQ, right? And go hover over the bad frequency and pull it out. Get out of here, man. So let's see where this song is going to take me with this.
It's easy to forget when I'm floating off the perk, counting us some money while I'm burning down some perk, smoking super runs. I feel like Superman. I try to save a hoe. I won't do that again. Me and my dog Nixon, we stacking the Benjamins. Hey, they're presidents. I gotta get them in. Hey, what the fuck you thought, bitch, that I would beg for you? Hell nah, that's something I would never do. Got me wondering like what the fuck I got into. Can't be fucking with no bitch that show no gratitude. Drop the attitude, baby, you gon' have to clear it. I got love for you, but I don't even want you near me. Try to tell you how I felt, but you ain't never hear me. I don't never want you back, and I mean that sincerely. Third, you left me, I ain't care. You thought that I would be hurt. It's easy to forget when I'm floating off the perk, counting us some money while I'm burning down some perk, smoking super runs. I feel like Superman.
All right, and the very last method that I just want to show you guys quickly today is how to use the Neve preamp as a parallel distorter. So what you want to do is you want to click over to the mic line right here, and I always push it to 30. You know, I just love the way it breaks it up. It's not too distorted. It still keeps a little bit of the character. And with Studio Rack and UAD Spark, we have access to it, so we don't have to really create a bus. If you do, you can also do that. Just create a bus, parallel distortion. And let's just hear what this distortion can add to this vocal.
Third, you left me, I ain't care. You thought that I would be hurt. It's easy to forget when I'm floating off the perk. Counting us some money while I'm burning down some perk. Smoking super runs, I feel like Superman. I try to save a hoe, I won't do that again. Me and my dog Nixon, we stacking the Benjamins. Hey, dead presidents, I gotta get them in. Hey, what the fuck you thought, bitch, that I would beg for you? Hell no, that's something I would never do. Got me wondering like what the fuck I got into. Can't be fucking with no bitch that show no gratitude. Drop the attitude, baby, you gon' have to clear it. I got love for you, but I don't even want you near me. Try to tell you how I felt, but you ain't never hear me. I don't ever want you back. Third, you left me, I ain't care. You thought that I would be hurt. It's easy to forget when I'm floating off the perk. Counting us some money while I'm burning down some perk. Smoking super runs, I feel like Superman. I try to save a hoe, I won't do that again.
So the Neve 1073 is extremely versatile for rap vocals, and I just wanted to show you guys that little gem of a method right there that you can try too, you know, just to add a little bit of fuzz. It actually felt like it glued the lead vocal with the background vocals, you know. That's what these components do. They add more harmonic content, so we perceive it as more dense, you know, because there's more harmonic content that's coming from those transistors and those transformers like I was talking about. So if you guys did learn anything today from this video, let me know down below. If you have any more ideas, I think UAD Spark is an incredible package of plugins, and I'm just gonna be running through all of them over the course of the next couple of weeks, just talking about how much I love them and everything. UAD, they make great stuff. So if you guys have any more comments, questions down below, let me know. I just wanna say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Peace.